Naruto Uzumaki is arguably the strongest shinobi on the planet, but for all that massive power that he has, it's actually been ironically revealed that the enormous reserves of chakra that Naruto has, in particular the Biju chakra that's inside of Naruto, is rapidly eating away at his health, which is why Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi have each undertaken an S-rank mission to find the cure for Naruto's chakra illness, traveling to the land of Radaku, which is where the Sage of Six Paths once lived when he too suffered from the exact same illness that Naruto currently has. The race against time to find Naruto's cure is coming closer to an end with each second that passes, and despite all of this, despite Sasuke and Sakura having made major strides to decode the message left behind by Hagoromo himself, they still don't feel as if they truly gotten any closer to finding Naruto's cure yet. It's a mission that they can't afford to fail, but Sasuke trusted in his wife Sakura enough so to decode the map that the Sage of Six Paths left behind, and after the two of them figure out that the Biju and the Ten Tails made up 10 of the constellations on the map, Sakura rewards Sasuke's vote of confidence by fully breaking the code left behind, and the massive breakthrough that they have when Sakura does this puts their mission on course to being able to come up with a cure for Naruto, and it puts the cure right at their fingertips. The information is given to us in the Sasuke Retsuden novel, which is the second novel in the Retsuden novel trilogy that is set in the Boruto era between the events of the Shikamaru Shinden novel and after the Majina Bandits arc and the start of the Owl arc of the manga. Before we go over the scene in question, I want you guys to remember what I've been saying in the last few videos, that a ninja must always learn to see past deception. That's gonna be really important when you look at this scene here. What you guys see on the surface level isn't always what things are, and in the case of the message left behind the Sage of Six Paths, cracking the code only leads to another hidden message that can't be solved without the information that was discovered by cracking the previous code. Essentially, Sakura has been tasked with breaking a code that has several hidden codes written inside of it, and she's on a time limit to do so, which only adds to the level of stress as well as make what she's doing very impressive. So what I'll do for you guys now is read the scene in question and then come back to you guys with my thoughts, and it's here I'm gonna begin reading. Even though she knew it was impossible, she suddenly felt that the sun was sinking. Sakura laughed in pain, thinking that kind of thing would make her disqualified as a doctor. For scientists, including doctors, it's very important to see things objectively instead of seeing things subjectively. In that case, the behavior of Tataru isn't something very scholarly. When she looked at the map, there was no astronomical meaning just because the array of stars that could be seen from the Earth happened to look like a turtle or some other object. However, Sakura felt that she might be able to better understand the feelings of astronomers who link the stars to each other in a playful manner and associate the shape of the animals. It's probably the same feeling that Sakura herself felt when she connected the dots on the cells that were cultured in a petri dish and made them look like stars. While facing each day to save herself from some type of monotony, she would play around. Even if the other party is inorganic materials, it's human beings with subjectivity who make these kinds of observations. Sakura was sure that this was the same reason that the shinobi seal was tied to the 12 zodiac pictures. Sakura tried to join her hands in front of her chest to form the hand seal of the rat. The hand seal itself had nothing to do with the animal of mice. However, not having a name for these hand seals would be too inconvenient. So the first shinobi simply named this as Ni for convenience. There were 12 basic hand seals that were used to form jutsu, so it just seems right to fit the 12 animals of the zodiac as well. Thinking about this, Sakura suddenly raised her gaze. Zodiac 12. Her momentum from standing up was so strong that it kicked the chair behind her. Sakura quickly jumped out of the medical room. End quote. So what I really love about this scene is that in order for Sakura to discover that the map itself was hiding the hand seals that would be required to cure Naruto of his illness, Sakura had to stop looking at the map from the perspective of someone who's trying to crack the code. She had to look at it from the perspective of someone who was writing a coded message and look through the lens of an astronomer. To put things even simpler, Sakura basically did what I used to do when I was an honor student in college. When I wrote my thesis, one of the things I had to do was look at the body of work by an author in ways that went deeper than just the words that were on the page itself. I had to look at the literature from the perspective of an author, taking into account the craft decisions that were made from the usage of vowels, sentence structure, setting, the intimate details of the author's life that would have influenced the work, as well as the climate itself during the world when the author was growing up in the time period where the pieces were being written. For Sakura, she did the exact same thing here by placing herself in shoes of the astronomer and the one who was making the map, as well as the person who came up with the idea of tying the different hand seals that people wheel to the zodiac signs themselves. That's when Sakura realized that the hand seals were being disguised within the map itself. So I'll break it down for you like this, using the ranks of ninjas so you guys can see how brilliant the Sage of Six Paths message was and how hard this was to crack. So a Genin will look at the map and only see the surface level, that there were drawings on it. A Chunin would take a look at it and notice that there were constellations on the map and that there was a link to the zodiac signs. A Jonin would notice that the drawings were actually a different Biju, the Sage of Six Paths, and the person that the Sage of Six Paths was traveling with, and that there was a link between the Biju that appeared in the month on the map that the Biju were on and the directions of the stars. Now a Kage would notice that there was a hidden message beneath all of these things, and that it was actually the hand seals that were required to be woven in order to come up with the cure for Naruto's chakra illness, and that there was an order for these hand seals to be weaved in order to be laid out for the reader. I personally love things like this because it again goes back to the theme of seeing past deception, seeing the hidden message behind the hidden message, and for Sakura to figure all this out while under the immense stress that she was on is pretty remarkable in my opinion. But I want to know from you guys, how impressed were you with Hagoromo's very complex planning when it came to all the information he put in this map? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. But as always guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day guys.